Good afternoon. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Media News, the headlines. MUTATI and KBF join forces ahead of crucial elections. PF drops 7 MPs from LUAPULA province. Join me with the Midday news in detail after this commercial.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
And now the media news in detail. The Zambia We Want political alliance involving the Movement for Democratic Change and former Patriotic Front PF member Kelvin Fube has joined political forces with the opposition United Party for National Development UPND has joined forces with the opposition UPND alliance on grounds of liberating the country through the ballot. The alliance has since adopted UPND President Hakainde Hichilema as its presidential candidate, with the running mate to be announced soon.
This week being the last sitting of the National Assembly, a clear sign of a full-fledged political season ahead of the August 12th elections. With this signal, preparations have intensified, with new political alliances being formed in order to champion a common agenda. Last Thursday, the Movement for Democratic Change was joined by prominent Lusaka lawyer Kelvin Fube to form a movement they dubbed the Zambia We Want. The Zambia We Want, 2 days later, has gone a step further and joined another alliance with the United Party for National Development Alliance. In all this, according to them, their goal is to liberate Zambians from the ills of the economy. Mr. Walia, commonly known as KBF, says Zambians should wake up and take its rightful position.
In Zambia today, many people are being hindered from exercising their freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of association, freedom of conscience, and other human rights. I ask again, is this the Zambia we want? This country, we must be careful not to lose the rule of law. And I want to assure the nation and my colleagues at the table here that we have discussed and agreed that we shall bring back the rule of law in this country.
And MDC leader Felix Mutati also gave a moving statement of how they intend to revive the economy.
And the biggest source of employment is in agriculture. If we have tackled mining and we have tackled agriculture, we shall begin to repair this economy. The third sector that we need to focus on is energy. Let the role of government be limited to regulation, licensing, and legal framework. Let the private sector be the one that procures.
Meanwhile, UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema, who has been picked as the alliance candidate, preached peace and unity as key to national development.
If that is the case, can you say so solemnly to repeat those gathered here?
I am humbled by this gesture. I feel so small, but confident inside that working together with all of you, talented people, men and women, working with the people of Zambia across the 10 provinces. Unit of purpose, all of the things we've talked about today. As a collective, the South Africans say, together for greater good. Only together for greater good, committed as freedom fighters, freedom to reconstruct everything in our society, including the economy and social fabric. On that basis, and the belief that unity is a truism, I, Hakainde Hichilema, accept that responsibility.
Going by Zambia's history and alliances, Zambians can only wait and see how successful this alliance will be as the date of the elections approaches. Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
But the ruling Patriotic Front, PF, through its Secretary General Davis Mwila, says the party is not bothered with the newly announced alliance. Speaking at a media briefing in Lusaka, where Mr. Mwila was announcing names for adopted candidates for LUAPULA province, he made it clear that the PF is confident of winning the 2021 elections with a landslide. According to him, this is because the party has sellable candidates in the name of President Edgar Lungu, who is the party's torchbearer. Meanwhile, Mr. Mwila has announced that the PF will not re-adopt Mambilima constituency MP Member of Parliament, who is also Minister of General Education, Dr. Dennis Wanchinga, and its MP for LUAPULA constituency, Emerin Karanshi, who is also former Minister of Community Development, as well as Dr. Sebastian Kapolande, who is Member of Parliament for Chembe. The PF has also dropped its current Member of Parliament for Milengi constituency, Mwansambola Kulima, Wahati MP Charles Mambwe, Nchelenge MP Anthony Malama, and Chifunamule MP Muche Mponde.
We are not under pressure because our candidate, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, is sellable. The people of Zambia wants to continue with PF because most of the promises that we made in 2016 have been fulfilled. And we've come up with a new manifesto where we've made new promises on what we want to continue in terms of development.
In other news, a civil rights activist, Brendan Changala, has described calls by the government on the donor community to help the country purchase more bicycles towards conducting census in LUAPULA. Government has set 1st November 2021 as the date for the commencement of the census of population and housing in Zambia, following its failure to carry out the exercise in 2020. And recently, the government received 2,110 bicycles donated by the United Nations Population Fund towards the undertaking of the census. But Minister of National Development Planning, Alexander Chiteme, said there was still a deficit of about 17,000 bicycles, thus calling on the donors to help with the deficit. But Mr. Changala is surprised that President Edgar Lungu and PF leaders have been donating bicycles to chiefs and headmen, yet they are failing to finance an important national program. He says national census is an important process that was going to help the country in the holding of general elections. He says the country has enough resources, hence the government must not be asking for an extra hand, as that is an embarrassment to the country.
The census gives a comprehensive picture of social and living conditions of the people. Only a census can provide such complete detail. The census is not, however, an end in itself. Rather, the results are essential tools for effective policy planning and decision-making purposes. And a developing country like Zambia, the census plays an important role in sustaining the development agenda. This is why the government has set 1st November 2021 to 28th November 2021 as the date on which the country will undertake its census of population and housing, following the failure by the government to hold a census in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic among other things. Last week, the United Nations Population Fund donated 2,110 bicycles to be used for conducting the census in rural areas. Minister of National Development Planning, Alexander Chitemi, said there's still a deficit of 17,505 bicycles and wants cooperating partners to come on board.
The total number of bicycles available to date is 2,495. This therefore means that we have a shortfall of 17,505 bicycles required for the successful undertaking of the census exercise. I am therefore appealing to all other operating partners, the private sector, to render support in this regard and in other areas of the census.
But civil rights activist Blebna Changala says Zambia has the capacity to buy the bicycles, as evidenced in the recent donations in rural areas by some political leaders.
And the request by our administration, our government, for the donors to contribute or indeed donate some bicycles to the census project is mind-boggling and very embarrassing. And one at first would think it was a joke. In the recent past, the president has been donating bicycles around the country to all the chiefs and their messengers. And I have said it before, that when it suits them, they will do anything for themselves and not for the country. Those bicycles which were dispatched to the chiefdoms and their retainers could have best be used for the census.
He insists that the government must be able to direct attention and resources towards the census, which is an important national activity, as opposed to over-depending on donors.
And we are holding a general election without knowing how many people are out of age and eligible to participate in this general election. But I will go further. The request to the donor community is unreasonable and totally unacceptable, and not on behalf of the people of Zambia, but to embarrass the integrity of every citizen in this country. This country has got money to buy a bicycle. It has got money to do a census, just as much as it has got money to maintain and retain MPs and ministers in offices for doing nothing. And yet, when it comes to national duty, which are so critical and important to national security and to development, they throw it towards the donor community.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Northwestern Provincial Agricultural Coordinator in the Ministry of Agriculture, Muyobo Mshimawale, says the Ministry of Agriculture has continued to work towards increasing productivity, access to mechanized equipment, enhancing value addition and improving access to inputs for the farmers in the province. Mr. Shimawale added that the intervention expansion of community-based smallholder irrigation development project the Ministry of Agriculture is implementing is a major step to improve farmers' livelihood. The Provincial Agricultural Coordinator was speaking when he closed the kick-off training for the first group of the Ministry of Agriculture staff from Kalumbila, Kasempa, Mufuwe and Mushindano district held at Shafukuma Farm Institute in Solwezi district. And farmers have assured government that the constructed simple irrigation facilities in their various communities will be utilized fully. Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA from the its ECOBS development project is being implemented in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture.
Ye project ya umuforo ya wama isa kwitu kwa shaki akine ngicha kubamba mumone nzina garden iziko kwa mbene okankara kuba kupwisha kuingira na mambo akubamba pa kufumya mali akubamba mpote water pump mpote nga fuel pano byobe tuletera kwa yo project ya wama ki akine kine kazisa kwitu kwa shaki akine.
It is clear farmers are ready for expansion of community-based smallholder irrigation ECOBS development project. This is why Minister of Agriculture staff from the district have received hands-on trainings, which will later on be transferred to farmers in irrigation development. The staff in the district are equally ready to continue implementing the activities under the 5-year ECOBS project.
What we have learned here at the training for weir construction and shape, I think my farmers in the camp will be able to learn a lot because I've been trained properly, and I believe I'm going to deliver, and I'm sure my farmers will improve their livelihoods, like in terms of irrigation.
The whole concept is called Community-Based Smallholder Irrigation Project. This is an approach where we intend to deliver extension messages to the farmers.
Muyobo Shimabare is Northwestern Provincial Agriculture Coordinator in the Ministry of Agriculture.
The ministry continues to work towards increasing crop productivity. We'll continue to work towards increasing access to mechanized equipment for our farmers, enhancing value addition, improving access to inputs. I'm sure that the ECOBS project interventions that we are implementing are a major step in that direction. I will not end without reminding you that, ladies and gentlemen, COVID is real. Let us always observe COVID prevention guidelines. Let us be careful as we go out there to perform our work. Let us always mask up. Those who are able to, let us even be vaccinated. There's nothing dangerous, I'm sure, with the vaccine. Others have been vaccinated already. As extension workers, I'm sure that we also need to be vaccinated because we interact a lot with the community.
ECOBS project is being funded by JICA in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture in the province. Krivat Tuta, reporting in Solwezi, Northwestern Province.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, the headlines once again. MUTATI and KBF join forces ahead of crucial elections. PF drops 7 serving members of parliament from LUAPULA province. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mseya Sakaleji. Good afternoon and pleasant viewing.